am Christ, I am disciple, and we are into yet another stream. As you can see, it's Restore the Snyderverse, Truth to Power, Free Palestine. That's what this stream is about. In front of you is the repeated iconography, one showing a man who's showing his mass power behind him, and another man showing that he needs the power from a source beyond himself. I guess you guys love that imagery right there. Shout out to my boy Vinny for doing that. Those of you on Twitter have been alerted to this stream. Let's get into it. So first things first, before I go anywhere else, this stream is brought to you by L.I.V.E. L.I.V.E. Live now. We're live now. And of course, because it is in my country yesterday it was Independence Day, and yesterday for some of you it was Labor Day. Let's get into it. I'm going to just advertise what this stream is sponsored by. Let's go. A blessed independence to one and all. Today, Monday, September 1st. As you celebrate this holiday, you can get L.I.V.E. snacks, L.I.V.E. punches, or L.I.V.E. drinks today. The stock is limited. In the snacks, we have large nuts for $20. And we also have, in the back here, small nuts for $8. We also have two different flavors of granola. You have granola mint and chocolate, and you have granola and raisins, each $8. The punches, we have two sizes. The big size is $15. The small size is $6. We have the following flavors: sea moss, peanut, Guinness, and beetroot punches. In the drinks, we do not have a lot of the drinks because they've been bought out last night, but we have guava, big and small. The big is $10, the small is $4. Lemon in both sizes. We have orange juice in the small size. We have Morbi, lime, sorrel. We have grapefruit in the big size, and we have fruit punch in the small size. They're all in limited amounts. So place your order today. L.I.V.E. Live now. We're live now. So that's our sponsor, L.I.V.E. products. And let's get into what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, let's start off with Superman. Superman was in the top 10 movies that were being seen on Flix Patrol as of August 22nd, 2025. I will give you an update on that in a minute. But it's not at number one position. The number one position right now, cumulatively speaking, is Mission Impossible. Then 28 Days Later, then F1 the movie, then Jurassic World, Nobody, How to Train Your Dragon, Karate Kid, Ballerina, The Accountant 2, and Superman. Now, you have to understand, Superman came out later than them. So, of course, it's not going to be at the top of the top 10 right now. So this is not necessarily a true reflection. So let's go to the true reflection of it right now on social media. So a true reflection of Superman right now. Here is Flix Patrol, top 10 streaming in the world. This is rent or buy we're talking about, right? Rent or buy because it's on digital. The top movies rent or buy on Amazon right now. Superman's at the number one spot, then Jurassic World Rebirth, then F1, then Mission Impossible, How to Train Your Dragon, Final Destination, the Minecraft movie, Karate Kid, Legends, Ballerina, and then Sinners. Okay, so Superman's top there at Amazon. On iTunes, F1 is ahead, Mission Impossible is second, then Superman is at number 3 spot right now, 28 Days Later, then How to Train Your Dragon, Jurassic World, Ballerina, Karate Kid, Final Destination, and so on. In top movies on Google, however, Superman is nowhere near there. We have the Minecraft movie that's there, Sonic the Hedgehog, Conclave, Mission Impossible, Rango, Lilo and Stitch, Wicked, Gladiator 2, Woodworkers, Kraven the Hunter. So it's nowhere in this listing. On Rakuten TV, it's at position number 8 behind Amateur, the Minecraft movie, Final Destination, Nobody, 28 Days Later, Karate Kid Legends, Bridget Jones,
It is behind all those movies. And on Chill, it's not even in the top 10. Okay. Uh, on Voodoo, we have no data for Voodoo. And that's pretty much it. Is that pretty much it? Trending movies and TV shows. So this has nothing to do with sales now. What's trending on Facebook fans right now is Harry Potter, Outlaw, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, SpongeBob, Fast and Furious. On X, it's Marvel Cinematic Universe, Demon Slayer. Wednesday, Summer, I Turned, whatever, Tonight Show. In Instagram, we've got Wednesday, Tom and Jerry, Scooby Doo, Batman, Twilight. Wikipedia, so people have been looking up on Wikipedia. Superman, Thunderbolts, Alien, The Summer I Tuned, F1. YouTube trailer views, again, Superman's not there. Torrent Seeds, we have Alien, Earth, and we got Superman, Mission Impossible, Jurassic World Rebirth, and Foundation. Now, what's important for you guys to understand here is that in terms of renting or buying and stuff, Superman is not in the top positions in some of the major places. The only place where it's in the top spot is on Amazon. It's not even in the top spot on Google, top 10 at all. And this again shows why the price for Superman now has dropped from 30 something dollars to $19, and then from $19 to $9 or $9.99, which is about $10. So they dropped the price of the movie 3 times. This tells you a lot, and I have some more to show you. I think I erased it, but hold on a second. I'm trying to remember here where I saw that. Okay, this is what AI overview for Superman digital sales says. The 2025 Superman film Superman had its digital release on August 15, 2025, making it available for purchase or rental platforms like Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. The movie was still in theaters at the time of reporting, which quick transitioned to digital platforms, raising some discussion about the impact on long-term box office potential. The film became available for digital rent or purchase starting Friday, August 15th. You can find it on major digital retailers like that. The context of the release. The digital release occurred approximately 35 days after the movie's theatrical premiere, July 11th. The fast turnaround to digital was noted by industry watchers as a quick transition for a major blockbuster, prompting conversations about its effect on the traditional box office run and future cinematic models. So basically, they're admitting that, hey, this looks like they needed to get more money back, so they needed to release the digital sales, and that's exactly what's happening. But the digital sales are not turning out the way how they expected. And here's another interesting thing I thought you guys should look at, which is that Warner Bros. Discovery, their stock hasn't improved as a result of Superman, neither in terms of their stock improving in terms of um, the box office or for the digital sales. So, and another very interesting thing I have to show you guys, I don't know if I have it. I don't seem to have it. So I'm going to just kind of tap it in here. This is another very interesting thing here. Superman, as of this weekend, its total box office now stands at 611 million, close to 612 million, and that's nowhere near what it needs to be. And remember, it had a Labor Day weekend, so people were turned up to the cinema for it, and it is currently dead in the water. I mean, Superman's pretty much done. I mean, if it makes an extra what? If it makes an extra 4 or 5 million, that would be great because it's pretty much done here theatrically. So what we're saying is that Superman is going to end its box office somewhere at 350. I think the domestic's the thing that's really rolling right now. So maybe 355 million, maybe at the end of its run, and about maybe 260 million internationally. It might end up with, um, and that may lead it to about 616 million. It's not going to even make 620 million, which is sad. So you're looking at a box office flop. All right. This movie couldn't make the money back that it needed to make, which is why they had an early digital release to try and get some kind of money back, and they haven't been able to do that. And Price of Reason has been saying this. 4KO has been saying this. Hard Critics has been saying this. A number of YouTube channels has already commented on this. So I'm recapping this, not for the sake of just recapping it like the other channels are doing, but for the reason that what I'm about to show you guys is where we need to go. And again, I was having a discussion with Damon Anton Vincent yesterday before I went to work, is that you have to understand that this is not really about fans being divided as it's being portrayed. This is really a studio versus the DC fans. Most of the DC fandom liked Zack Snyder's stuff. And also like Matt Reeves stuff, and also like what Todd Phillips did with Joker, and also liked the serious stuff like Constantine. They liked Wonder Woman. They want David Ayer's Suicide Squad coming out. And again, these are not directors who are Zack Snyder. So to say they're Snyder fans is not being honest. You're being kind of somewhat disingenuous with that. These are people who are fans of DC and like DC a certain way. So, as I said before, the studio is sending these narratives out there, but the studio and the people who support the studio and even the fans who support the studio are really a small minority of the people out there. And it's clearly showing up in box office time and time and time again. So again, here's the box office gross for Superman. And once again, here it is. They sort of changed up the AI overview, but this is another AI overview. I just snapshot this a while ago. There is no specific figure for the digital release sales of Superman as yet. The film's digital release was on August 15, 2025. However, the rapid digital release date is often discussed in relation to the film's box office performance, with reports stating that Warner Brothers released it digitally to recoup losses as it was not a massive financial success compared to expectations. Okay? About the digital release, Superman became available in digital platforms on August 15, 2025. It can be rented or purchased on digital retailers like Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. The significance: the digital release is considered pretty quick, coming about 35 days after its theatrical premiere on July 11, 2025. So when I did the AI overview about a couple minutes ago, this is what I got. And now when I look at the AI overview, they changed it and it's slightly different. But nonetheless, this is what, in essence, that other one is saying, even though more passively. So what does that leave us to conclude? And what is it that we are really looking at here? Clearly, every single universe that Warner Brothers has tried to explore outside of the Snyderverse has not been profitable. Now, films outside of the Snyderverse, such as the Batman and Joker, they were profitable, and again, serious tone films. But when it comes to universes, other than Aquaman and Shazam, the two films that were profitable, and they kind of fed off of the fact that there was some support by actors or people, giving tribute to BVS, for example, that allowed for those films to even be profitable. But having said that, we were clear that the sequels to these films did not do well at all, even the sequel to Joker, pointing to the fact that the leadership and the direction of Warner Brothers is very, very lacking. These people are very incompetent at what they're doing. The only competency we had, and we could say that's sketchy too, was with when Zack Snyder was there doing his movies, and the early crop of directors such as Patty Jenkins and David Ayer and James Wan, though they will allow creative freedom, the studio was still interfering with them, but it was still more structured than it is now. The direction that the company is going in is absolutely in direct opposition to what the audience wants, what the audience demands of them. And it is very clear now. It is very clear that the Snyderverse is the best option right now in terms of direction that studio should go in. The other option is Matt Reeves' Batman verse to let him finish his stuff. These are the only two profitable universes so far. Matt Reeves has been able to have a very successful Penguin series. And I do believe if he does a sequel to Batman, depending on how interesting it is, he may be the only other director out there to get a sequel that actually is profitable, which is, it's not going to be a DC EU or DCU sequel. It'll be in his own standalone universe. So what I'm saying is that, and they're giving Matt Reeves trouble. They're giving him hell to get that done. And it just shows how stupid the executives in the studio are and how they literally sabotage their own products to try to get a very narrow outcome that benefits only them. And it definitely doesn't benefit the fandom that wants to see these movies. The audience that likes DC and DC movies, this is not the direction that audience wants to go in, clearly. And James Gunn is just totally turning off every single DC fan out there. There's still one or two of them that are supporting him, but a lot of them are just disappointed in the direction in which these things are going. Even the critics are bashing his Peacemaker. And you can go to Price of Reason. You can hear him speak at length about how unprofitable Peacemaker actually is, that the viewership is very niche. It's very small compared to, say, for example, Penguin or some other shows that showed on HBO Max, which were doing way better, and, he has not really moved the needle in any kind of way. James Gunn has proven that when it comes to DC, I'm not speaking about Marvel, but when it comes to DC, he's not producing the goods for DC. And it's really about his contract probably running out, and then they probably replace him. They're talking about Supergirl. God damn it, man. How many flops this guy got to make before he flopped with Creature Commandos. He flopped with Peacemaker. Y'all hyped him up. He flopped with the Suicide Squad. He's flopping with Peacemaker again. He flopped with Superman. How many fucking flops this guy got to make for you guys to realize that he's just not the guy for DC? I couldn't give a damn what the critics give him in terms of rating. There's things about dollars and cents, and they ain't making no sense right now, and they ain't making no dollars right now. What's happening, and that's just the bottom line. Restore the Snyderverse. That's what we need to have. Abdi and DeLuca needs to get more say in terms of DC, as my boy Damian Anton Vincent so correctly said, and I agree with him and I endorse him on that. I believe that DC Studios should be disintegrated into nothingness, and Abdi DeLuca should run everything. And if James Gunn is still there, let him just direct his niche movies for his niche audience. He can still continue. See, the difference between me, all those other fake ass, dumbass executives who pretend to be fans out here is, I'm not saying eliminate anybody. I'm saying let them all cook. Okay? Let them all cook. Let James Gunn do his cooking. But it's going to cost you some money, studio, to keep him on board. But while he's cooking, make sure he don't got control over nobody else in there cooking when it comes to DC. Let him just be a director and let him produce his movies. And if it makes money, it makes money. If it don't make money, don't make. But in the meantime, don't cut yourself short. Don't stam your currency flow off of one stupid ass guy who ain't producing shit for you. You're not getting any money. What part of that do you not understand? And you put out so much fucking money on this movie. So much money on this movie. And it's not producing for you. How can you be so stupid? If I was there with those executives, I'll slap all of them in the face. And I'll fire every single executive because y'all not producing shit when it comes to DC. Nothing. What the hell you have a job for in Warner Brothers? You're not producing shit. Okay? I'd fire all those motherfuckers. And the people who want to go in a different direction, I bring them on board. Definitely Abdi and DeLuca is going to be there. I don't care if they support the Snyderverse or not. We know we're going in a different direction, right? And I know Abdi and DeLuca is open to having the Snyderverse restored. I know that. I know that. That's the kind of directors they are. They literally have common sense. They understand what fandom is and what fandom wants. They understand what the audience wants. I know they understand this because F1 is a movie that's high quality. It's a great movie. It's not making money yet. So let's not fool ourselves, but it's still a great movie, right? And I haven't seen it, but I know. I've seen the trailers and stuff. It's a quality movie, okay? They killed it with what you call it? This year, 955 million. What's the name of Minecraft? The Minecraft movie. They killed it with it. It was comedy, and it killed. It killed in the cinemas. So Abdi and DeLuca are producing. Okay, Matt Reeves has been producing. You cannot shut down Matt Reeves because he's been producing. He's been producing movies that make money. So I wouldn't shut down Matt Reeves. This is just common fucking sense, man. We have to use common sense here. The people who are producing in the cinemas, that is to say, box office is happening with these people. You keep them. The people who are not productive, they're not giving you no box office. They're not giving you no kind of profit. Why would you keep them? And don't tell me about critical ratings. I couldn't give a fuck about that. It's about dollars and cents. The critical ratings will come later when the critics, their minds open to the fact of what kind of style of directing these people are doing. Because clearly these critics, they have like a checklist on what is good and what is not. So their minds are not open to new interpretations of things, right? And that's the problem. We have closed-minded people in the industry. This is the direction we want to go in. I know why they want to go in that direction, because it's the kind of program, but it's so outdated now, the direction they're trying to go in. Everybody knows. Everything's exposed about Hollywood. We know what kind of people that are there that are trying to run the show. We know. So you're not going to fool people anymore. That old strategy it's been exposed. It's trampled upon. You're gonna give people proper entertainment, or you're not gonna entertain them at all. They're not gonna come and see your shit. So that's just the reality of the situation, and especially where the economy is in the world today, where people can't get access to the kinds of comforts and funding and stuff. That people got more important things to do than watch movies. So if these places keep on doing the failing upwards thing where one person's pockets is fattened while the company is suffering, and while, man, to the shareholders of Warner Brothers, you need to fire these incompetent motherfuckers. If they're not producing, get them out of there. Fire them. Vote for them to leave. Unanimous vote for them to leave. Shareholders need to get smarter at what they're doing. They need to be more forceful about what they're doing in the company. Because that company's going downhill. $11 a share, you're not even getting the returns that you're supposed to be getting. You would be swimming in money if Zack Snyder was still there, because the Snyder cut reached $77 and something cents per share. You would have been swimming in money. So you make those executives account for themselves. Otherwise, get these motherfuckers out of there. Fire them. Remove them, and suggest that the company be bought over, and not by Disney. I know it's a conspiracy. There's a conspiracy between Disney and Warner Brothers, and there's a substantial amount of executives in Warner Brothers who want to see it sold over to Disney, just like what happened with Fox, and that's what they want to do. They want everything swallowed up by Disney, but it's up to the shareholders. It's up to the executives like Abdi and DeLuca to step up, to be bold, to stand out, and to let them know, hey, when it comes to these properties, this is not what we recommend. And if we got to lose our jobs for that, so be it. But we're not going to compromise anything. If you really want to entertain people, that's what you say you are about, then this is the way to go. And they need to be strong on that, whether they get fired or not. I'm sure they have been, but I'm sure they're a minority in that wretched fucking company of incompetent people. I was going to curse, but I said no. All right, so let me get into one more thing before I get out of here, because I'm already 25 minutes in, And I do want to get, I do want to get into some meat and bones with you guys a little bit. So we have to always be telling truth to power, man. That's the way how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Vinny. Vinny, man, Vinny did this again. This is really awesome right here. Vinny is such a diehard fan of the Snyderverse. And Vinny been posting up on the Snyderverse all the time. Whatever it fuels your passion, that's what you got to go with, man. So Ryan Zobiani says 50 ships, 44 nations, one cause, save Gaza. So people are now taking it into their own hands, and they're going with 50 plus ships, I think 55 ships, flotillas towards Palestine. So the army of salvation is only increasing, and the more Israel turns them back, the more Israel tries to put resistance, is the more they're going to go, and they're going with goods and services, and they intend to continue down this road no matter what the powers that be try to deter them. And of course, what's her name? I forgot her name right now. But the young girl who is all about, preserving nature and stuff like that, she's on that trip as well. Once again, truth to power, man. The people be speaking, right? Power to the people, man. Y'all got a lot more power, and y'all need to know this. Y'all need to know this. Your governments don't give one flying ass about you. I want you to understand that. The governments that do care about their people, they're being isolated and exiled from the rest of the world. And they're trying to overthrow those governments. Germany's finest, always on it, hella informed. Preach, girl. Listen to this.
Blew up these people twice. Bored. You look like you're bored. They just blew up these people twice. And you don't care. It doesn't make any difference because Hamas, right? Hamas. I know you're bored. It's too much. You can't have any empathy. Nothing. I come from a World War II Holocaust background, and I know what it does. You don't care. You're carrying the flag that does this, that loves blood, and has no shame whatsoever, and does not want peace. It doesn't want peace. I know, she's dead inside. What is wrong with these people? Seriously, what is wrong with these German people? Dead inside. I know, right? And then they laugh. It's a joke. Because hostages. When he had the chance for 2 years to get hostages. 2 years. 2 years to get hostages. But what did he do? He went into Lebanon and Iran. That's your Netanyahu. You think that's it? What did they do in time and time again when this has happened? I can show you documents when they gave hostages back. Gilead Shalit. What did they do? No, you don't know what to say. In 2006, when they took Gilead Shalit, what did they do? They again bombed. 2009, 2008, Operation Cast Lead, Operation 2014, you don't know. 550 children in 2014. You don't even know this. You're so ignorant. 1982, Sabra and Shatila, 20,000. Do you even know that? What did Israel do? War. Israel, war. Time and time again.
So convincing because she's speaking the truth and she's now starting to break down the history. You understand? I got a lot to show you guys, but I'm not going to show you that right now. Truth to power, motherfuckers. Y'all ain't like me saying motherfuckers, but I'm going to say it because that's what they are.
Look, the Gaza Strip We learned that the policies towards the Gaza Strip and unilateral control over the Gaza Strip by the Israeli government is so unique that it defies all conventional wisdom in the economics lexicon. Sarah Roy literally had to invent a new word to describe what is happening to the Gaza Strip. It wasn't underdevelopment, it was de-development. De-development has 5 distinct features: expropriation, dispossession, integration, externalization, and finally deinstitutionalization. In Rashid Khalidi's book, The 100 Years' War on Palestine, we learned that the process of de-development was articulated way back in 1895 by early Zionist leader Theodor Herzl, who wrote in his diary, quote, "We must expropriate gently the private property on the estates assigned to us. We shall try to spirit the penniless population across the border by procuring employment for it in the transit countries, while denying it employment in our own country. The property owners will come over to our side. Both the process of expropriation and the removal of the poor must be carried out discreetly and circumspectly. If one wishes to incriminate the Israeli government and the Zionist movement in general, one needs to look no further than the words and actions of the Israeli government and the Zionist movement."
Shout out to Rathburn.
Coca-Cola, we're not just when we
Hold up. I wanted you guys to know she's talking about boycotting Coca-Cola here, but I just want to add an extra something to that. Because I know a lot of people like Coca-Cola and it's very addictive, but Coca-Cola has been, as a policy, financing every single war since World War II. Just get that fucking fact into your mind. And the reason why I say fucking all the time is because of my disgust for the evil and the depravity of these leaders and these people who we are supposed to look up to as an example for how to conduct ourselves in society. They are no different than serial killers and mass murderers and criminals that we despise in our own societies. In fact, I'll go as far as to say some of these criminals and serial killers, they created them. Let's go.
When we say boycott Coca-Cola, we're not just talking about the red can. We mean the entire Coca-Cola company. And here's why. Coca-Cola runs a bottling plant in the Atarat industrial zone, an illegal Israeli settlement on Palestinian land. The UN says these settlements break international law, but Coke is still profiting from them. The company has also been honored by Israeli institutions for supporting Israel's economy. And that's why they're on the boycott list. And remember, Coca-Cola isn't just Coke. It owns and distributes many things like Fanta, Sprite, Costa Coffee, Smart Water, Innocent Smoothies, and a whole lot more. So when you're buying any of those, you're still putting money in Coca-Cola's pocket. So remember, it's not just Coca-Cola the drink, it's Coca-Cola the company. And by boycotting them, we are sending a clear message to say that Ireland won't stay silent. When we say boycott Coca-Cola.
Now, it's important to understand when you're boycotting things. I'll tell you what to do. If you can buy local or regionally, that's a better way to go than trying to buy foreign products from outside of your country. If you live in the United States of America, on the other hand, you'll have to avoid certain companies, and we can always give you the companies that you need to avoid. And if you're somebody who buys organic and organic products, you probably are going to steer clear of most of these companies, but nonetheless, you still have to do a watch list on everything that you're going to purchase and just be responsible with it. Since money's hard to come by anyway, it's better if you put your money into people who are locally in your area. So the regional companies of your state, the regional companies of your mom and pop's businesses, try to invest more in that than in the big brand companies, and you'll stay clear of those problems. This is Khabib, and he speaks very honestly and very candidly. As you know, he's a great UFC fighter. Listen carefully.
When one army is smashing just regular people, this is not war. First of all, I want to say a lot of people in the world, they thinking there is war. War we call when one army fight with another army. This is called war. But when one army smashing just regular people, this is not war. For example, if I go to the street and fight with someone who never do this is not fair, this is not fight. Same thing happening there. They close the border and they bombing 2.5 million people inside like very small, like Manhattan Island, like this place. Can you imagine right now they close the Manhattan and bombing Manhattan and everybody silent? This is not war, this is genocide. And you don't have to be Muslim to support this. You have to be just regular human. Can you imagine 100 kids dying without food, nothing, like even water? And these people who doing this, they talk about fair. Okay, if you guys have problem with some organization, go and deal with them. But what about 2.5 million people? You guys bombing. This is not war. People have to understand this is real genocide in front of 8 billion people eyes.
Yep. Now, they're doing that to terrorize the world and to make us feel powerless. But what it is going to do instead is make us more powerful. It's going to enable us. You know how long these people, this cabal of demonic motherfuckers, has been trying to kill the human race? They've been trying to do that now for about 400 years. They've been trying to wipe us off the planet. We are notoriously difficult to kill. Okay? And if they do it overtly, we'll turn against them and we'll destroy them because we got numbers. So they have to play this tentative fucking game. They're trying to build up technology so that the technology can replace us and the technology can destroy us. Okay? They're sickos. The people who are trying to run this world are demonic. I can't say this enough. Okay? Anyways, I am going to try not to curse. Let's move forward. This is really nice. I love creativity. Heavy stuff, and I just don't want to go that heavy. So today I talked about restored Snyder vs. Truth to Power, and you guys know the truth now. It's open for everybody. By the way, they killed out the prime minister of Yemen and a whole set of his cabinet, the Israelis government. Of course, Yemen is unflinching. Killing them out doesn't mean shit to the Yemenis. And so here we go. Listen carefully. Come on, motherfucker. The funeral for Yemeni Prime Minister Ahmad Ghalib al-Rabi and his fellow ministers was held today in Sana'a. They were assassinated by the occupation of killed Prime Minister and the majority of his cabinet. Yemen has been steadfast in its support for Palestine, which has resulted in its brutal and constant targeting by Israel. Now, I want to say something right now. If, as so correctly that lady said, the only country in the Middle East that is lashing out at every one of its neighbors is Israel. The only country. If tomorrow Israel was destroyed off the face of this earth, you'd have peace in the Middle East. Okay? It is the most destructive country in the Middle East right now. The ones carrying out assassinations, the ones carrying out bombings of various countries is Israel. And it's about time the Middle East take up arms and destroy it. Warn the people of Israel that they need to leave the country and bomb the fuck out of the country. Okay? You don't bomb the Palestinian areas, but you bomb the rest of the country. Just bomb the fuck out of the country and end the story. Because at the end of the day, the rogue nation in the Middle East is Israel. And it's about time Saudi Arabia grew some balls, as was the UAE and the government of Syria, and just get rid of the problem. Okay? because that country is about nothing. It's founded on satanic principles. It was a colonizing force. It's displacing people and doesn't want them to return. It's trying to force its way into the Middle East, which first of all received it with open arms, only to find out it was a cancer to destroy the Middle East. So this is one time where all the Middle Eastern countries need to come together. And if the United Nations will refuse to do anything and bring its peacekeeping forces into, and let me tell you how easy this is. They come in via helicopter and they land them in, the peacekeeping forces, the UN peacekeeping forces. And they immediately have presence there to ensure that the Israeli soldiers do not shoot the Palestinians. If they do, then the peacekeeping force needs to enforce force against them and shoot them. End of story. And if the UN can't do that, then fuck the UN, and the surrounding countries need to attack Israel and destroy it. And I couldn't give a fuck about America. They want to destroy them with Israel too? Fuck them. But strong action needs to be taken now. Now, Israel is also responsible, as we already knew in other videos, for what is happening in Sudan, what's happening in Congo, what's happening in fucking Somalia. These motherfuckers have been involved in these problems for a long time, along with the United States of America. Tyranny has to end. The U.S. needs to go back to where it is and manage its affairs on its own home soil. And any country in which it is in and is causing a disturbance to that country, the surrounding countries need to gang up on it and make sure those soldiers are kicked out of that fucking country. Okay? I live in Trinidad and Tobago. There is U.S. presence here in terms of our resources. Our government is so fucking fickle and weak that it doesn't know how to kick those fucking companies out the country and take over the resources that are there, which are our fucking resources, not theirs. There is a lack of will by our governments to stand up to power and to speak to power. And if they won't do it, we the people will do it. And we'll kick them out of power. We'll take power and we'll do what we need to be done. Governments are there to serve the people. And when they can't serve the people anymore, they are no longer relevant. The clock is ticking. The people will move. And I don't give a fuck how much technology you have, how much you spy on us, how much you think you can kill us. We got fucking numbers on you all day, every day. And if we want to take you out, we will. And that's how I feel about it. And so the more I see how demonic this world is in terms of the leadership of this world and how rotten they are, is the more compelled I am to let the average Joe know to have zero confidence in them. American people are being betrayed by their government. The UK people are being betrayed by their government. The German people are being betrayed by their government. My country's people are being betrayed by their government. How many countries do we have governments that do not work in our best interest? How many times do we have to see this? We allow it. We are to blame for our governments behaving the way they are. It's up to us to get our shit in order, organize ourselves, and decide our own fucking destinies. Because our governments are sold out to the nearest bidder a long time ago. Because they're fucking politicians. And they do all kinds of evil acts. to stay in power. So fuck them. That's how I feel about the situation. Okay, I have to go. I spent 45 minutes with you guys, and it was nice talking with you guys. Truth to power. Restore the Snyderverse. Free Palestine. I'm going to do another stream, hopefully tomorrow. I have some business to manage today. I hope that you guys have a good one today. God be with each and every one of you, whether you believe in a God or not. I wish the best for you guys because, as I said before, I do care about you as human beings. You know? So that's what I got for you guys. I'll see you guys.